let's talk about the movies that I watched in December. Starting it off with a pair of stinkers. I watched Rim of the World. Not a good movie. I would say deeply, deeply predictable. None of the jokes really landed for me. Not particularly interestingly filmed. Just kind of bad. Just kind of bad all across the board. And not even in a fun, interesting way. Not even in a, oh, it's so bad, it's good kind of way. Just bad. Cannot recommend. I also watched Vivarium, which at least felt like it was trying to do something, but I was very disappointed. I think Jesse Eisenberg kind of not killing it in this one, although I've liked him in a lot of movies. I think it was mostly just boring instead of unnerving and didn't really get at much. I do have a lot of I I deep hatred for suburbia and a lot of feelings about what it's doing to the world, but this movie doesn't really get at that. And the child screaming, the the screaming child, which I think is meant to be unnerving or scary or whatever, isn't that. It's just the worst auditory experience I've ever had watching a movie. Every time it happened, I had to like turn it down drastically. It was awful. So can't recommend Vivarium. It was fine, I guess. If you're gonna watch a horror movie, watch It Follows, which I finally got around to doing. And, I know it's had a lot of like thumbs up. It's great. It's just such a well crafted little, it reminded me of Jaws in just how like efficient and like, you know, he all the shots have purpose. Everything that happens has means. Every scene propels the story forward. It's like short, like simple concept, so scary. The score is incredible. The acting is great, but I do think it's like the writing and the like the way it was filmed that really like makes it incredible. I think it's like maybe it's one of the best horror movies I've seen like recently for sure. I also went and saw The Boy and the Heron in theaters. Miyazaki's just out here sort of shining away at the same concepts he's been working on for years. And honestly, I think this is like maybe the weirdest of his movies, the most like I feel like it's like the one that has the least mainstream appeal, but just like a director sort of at the you know towards the end of his career opining about death and all sorts of things, and it was beautiful and great. And listen, every Studio Ghibli movie is beautiful and great and worth a watch. So this one's no different, but I really liked it. I think it's like fairly high up on my list of Ghibli movies. Let's see. We also watched The Dig. I I don't really my toxic trait is I hate period pieces. Uh, I don't care about what the British were doing, you know, just before World War, and I just didn't. It was just kind of a boring movie for the most part. Like there were some moments that were well filmed and the acting is good, I guess, but I just didn't. I was kind of just bored. It was fine. It wasn't bad. I was just not. It was just fine for me. I will say, like I said, it's not my type of movie. So if you're a period piece person, maybe look for another reviewer if you're considering this one. Also watched another great director opining about death, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's it was a little all over the place and didn't fully get into all the ideas that I think it should have gotten into. But I mean, just a visual spectacle, just incredible to watch. Beautiful thing and full of Guillermo's got some specific motifs he really likes, and they are all in full effect here. If you're a Guillermo del Toro fan like me, it's definitely worth a watch. I think it's a really good piece of stop motion animation, and I don't want that that particular style of filmmaking to die. So everyone will go and watch every stop motion animation because there's like one a year. Uh, what else? Oh, I'm finishing out as we started out with kind of a sinker. Hashtag alive. It was it could have been like it should have been this movie should have been like Castaway but with zombies. Instead, it was just I don't know a mess of like different little moments. It wasn't. It did not hold my attention at all. Wasn't scary. Wasn't thrilling. Wasn't thought provoking. It was just every zombie movie sort of mixed together and then mashed down into a fine paste, like most zombie movies, to be honest. Oh, that's all the movies I watched this month. I will see you next month when I will be talking about a bunch of other movies that I watched. I hope that you have a good one. Sayonara. See ya. Goodbye.